Hello, everybody. My name is Joe Sanchez, and today I want to talk to you about is moving to Leander, Texas still a good idea in 2025? Well, let's check it out. I'll let you know. So, for context, who am I? I grew up in Cedar Park, Texas, went through the Leander Independent School System, Leander Independent School District school system. And, after that, joined the military for a few years and lived in San Diego and abroad. Actually ended up living even longer there because I got a job out there, so stayed out there for a long time. But in 2020, the pandemic happened, and there's many crazy things that happen in all parts of the country and the world, actually. So I decided to move back to my hometown of Austin, Texas, and relocated to Leander, Texas. And I've relocated my family from San Diego all the way to Leander. So I know a lot of you guys are probably looking at this thinking to yourself, I'm moving my whole family out here. So how is this place now? So why people ask this question, is this a good place to live and all that? So Leander overall, it's evolution. It once a quiet, affordable place. Let me see if I can move this for you guys. It once a quiet, affordable Austin suburb with modest homes and rural charm. That's true. You still got a lot of that, but definitely there's been a lot of growth. And what I mean by that, there's just construction everywhere, toll roads now. But with that comes more businesses, more places to go. It's not all just country bumpkin, which is unless you're looking for that, I can direct you to that direction. But overall, it's a suburb. It's a suburban area, and so let's talk about growth and change. Home prices and taxes have climbed significantly as Austin's growth shifted buyer demand northward. That's true. So basically, you got highways, I-35 and say 183. Everybody's going more north or more south. But the city itself has gotten pretty expensive. So you see that. Value proposition still offers space. That's true. Excellent schools. That's true as well. And relative value. Yep, you can get more bang for your buck out here still. So that's overall all true. So the cost of living, the big picture. Big picture is 11% below the U.S. average. Overall cost of living, there's definitely an advantage of living here, right? 18% cheaper than Austin. Austin's expensive. It's definitely cheaper out in Leander. And then, so utility bills, monthly utility bills for a 2,000 square foot home, $300. Yep, it sounds about right, except if it's summertime or wintertime, because depending how cold or how hot it gets will determine that. Okay, so property tax. This is a real one that I like to talk about. Property tax is actually pretty high, and that's because it feeds the schools, and depending on where you're at in Leander, it would also tell you, it might be going for a mud or one of these things, depending on if you buy a home or not. And I can explain that in more details. So remember, Texas has no state income tax, but property taxes fill that revenue gap. Definitely, it does. Housing market 2025 snapshot. So it says, I'm looking at my chart here that I put together. Market conditions: home staying on market longer equals buyer leverage. That's true. There's been a shift ever since the interest rates had gone up, and there's just overall more homes. That there's been a lot of inventory out there specifically now. So if you're a buyer, it's a good time to buy. Most properties selling below asking price. Yes, that's true because there's just supply and demand. The more homes there are, and there's more supply, have to bring the price down. Bryson, Treviso remain high demand areas. That's true. These are nice areas. I personally live in Bryson, and overall, we just had some flooding. Guess what? These neighborhoods have floods, not flooding, but different waterways and ways they figure out how to. I think the proper word is mitigate, or anyways. Long story short, figure out a way to prevent your house from flooding when there's flash floodings. You've probably seen it in the news now. I'm making his presentation, and it's July, today's the 6th or something. But we just had some really bad floods out here, so something to keep in mind is looking at FEMA flood zones and all that kind of thing. Builders offering incentives in new developments. Yes, definitely is a way to go. There's a lot of developments that are happening. So if you are looking for a place and you want a brand new home, some of these builders are offering pretty crazy incentives, like $40,000 towards whatever you want. They call it flex cash. There are different names for it, but essentially they want to get you in a home, and they're providing incentives for that. So, what's it like to live in Leander? Well, outdoor living, trails, pools, parks, splash pads throughout the neighborhoods. Yes, I can just tell you a few of them. There's Lakewood. It's a popular park, nice park from Leander. They have a nice splash pad there, and for free. So that's a crazy part. Some of these places charge for splash pads, but Leander is doing a pretty good job at providing these. There's multiple parks that you can go to. And some are on the border of Leander and Cedar Park. Both are great areas, but definitely is a very good place for pools, parks, splash pads. You'll find all that. Community feel. Well, this is very big. Outside of it, obviously, there's a lot of community feel as far as a lot of community events, lots of uh, a lot of community events. Really, I mean, I just had a July 4th. We're supposed to have a July 4th fest, but we got rained out. But overall, one of the biggest ways that people are community focused, we're just having these floods right now. Everybody, you can see it on the Facebook pages and all that kind of thing. They're all joining together using some of their off-road equipment that they have, and drones and all the connections, churches and that kind of thing. People are coming together to help one another, and so that's how it's a strong community. Even though a lot of people aren't even from here, they're all joining together. So it's really cool to see. But outside of that, you have your food trucks and all this kind of stuff that definitely you would find here. Safety and space, not as walkable as Austin, but yeah, that's true. But it's definitely, I'm not going to use, they say not to use the word safer and all that, but it definitely is different because you're not in the city, you're outside the city. And lots of places to walk. Here in the Bryce neighborhood, you can walk the whole neighborhood and get a workout. So it's very, very, how would I say, very friendly for someone that wants fresh air and that kind of thing. And let's go to the next slide. Schools and education. This is always a fun one because there's lots of ways to look at schools and education, but I'll highlight some things here. So Leander Independent School District highlights one of the top rated school districts in Central Texas region. That's true. Zone schools in Bryson. So I'm talking about Bryson mainly, but overall I work in all of Travis County and Williamson County. And Bryson, if you live in the Bryson, you'd be going neighborhood. You'd be going to Jim Plain Elementary, Danielson Middle School, and Glenn High School. There's a strong balance of academics, athletics, technology programs, and student support. 100%. There's also Rouse High School. And this is the last important note on this is zoning maps. So when you're looking at zoning maps, they change. They're not set in stone. So please be aware that you could be rezoned. I live in a neighborhood where we were zoned to, for example, Glenn High School and Danielson Middle School, but we have actually been rezoned to Rouse High School and Wiley Middle School. Yep. So that happens often growing up in the school district. I went to five different elementaries or something crazy like that. But it's because the district is always proactive and they're always counting to see how many people are going to school, redirecting that so there's not always packed classes and there's a good student to teacher ratio. So just keep that in mind as you're looking at schools, good schools overall around. They have the Leander Independent School District goes from as far north as almost to Liberty Hill, which is right north of Leander, all the way down to Travis County, and you can see some very nice schools down there too, like Vandergrift High School, and that's further south, but it's definitely a big school district. Commute and infrastructure, toll roads. Oh, let me tell you about toll roads. So toll roads, you have the 185 and 45 provide fast commute options to Austin and beyond. So that's good because you need the toll road sometimes to get downtown quicker and bypass all the traffic. The bad news is it costs money. It costs money and you have to pay for that, but they'll set you up on these little text tags or whatever where you can basically have it automatically withdrawn out of your account after you reach a certain limit of using your credits per se. But they have it, and it's beautiful that they have it because you can have a straight shot to downtown and get to the airport a lot quicker than if you had to take kind of I call it the back country roads, but they have actually become more bigger roads now. Public transit. So Leander actually there's a metro rail that connects all the way to downtown, and so if you're a hybrid worker or someone that's wants to go to the Austin FC games to watch soccer or whatever it is that you're doing to commute to downtown, Leander is the farthest northern point of the metro rail, and you can park your vehicle there, commute all the way down to wherever you need to go. Business access, easy access to tech corridor, North Austin jobs, and Cedar Park amenities. Yes, to all that. You can ask me questions on that, but basically, it's a good connection point, especially with the toll roads, the metro rail, and all that kind of stuff. It's a no brainer. So, pros and cons summary. Better affordability than Austin for families or remote workers. Yeah, I would say that's definitely true. I mean, it all depends on your lifestyle. You can obviously get a big house, and it's going to cost you more because there's more property tax. But Austin's still very expensive. So, excellent schools and safe neighborhoods. True. Quiet lifestyle with access to outdoor recreation. True. Depending on where you live, you can live in a pretty busy area here because they're developing it now. So it just depends on where you choose, but definitely you can live a quiet lifestyle with access to a lot of outdoor recreation and ideal for long-term living and raising kids. I agree. And the cons. Property tax. So property taxes are higher than the national average. So it's 2.3 versus the 1.1%. Really, it's you can claim homestead. There's different things you can do if you're a veteran. You can depending on what your status is as a veteran, you can get some of those taxes reduced. And I believe the state is now actually passing some new laws or bills that would help just the average person save more in their homestead exemptions. So car dependent, yeah, that's right. You kind of do have to have a car. You're not going to be able to. I used to live in San Diego where you can cruise on a bicycle to any part of PB or PB would stand for Pacific Beach, but any part of town you could really get around on foot. Here, you're really going to need a car, and unless you're using a metro route, but you still need to get there somehow. Growth, more construction, lots of construction. I can tell you enough. There's lots of construction. It's for the good and for the bad, but overall, for the good, there's more buildings being built, nice places for people to shop. They're really building out. So there's still a lot of opportunity to move here. And then when it gets dry, there's dust and that kind of thing, but we've had more rain and there's temporary traffic challenges. So now on the toll road, they expanded it where it goes all the way to Liberty Hill. So that's good to go. But overall, those are kind of some of those things. So, if, for example, if you're buying a new home, do you want to buy somewhere where the house is already kind of built, or you want to buy somewhere where they have some empty lots that they're going to build on? Well, I'll tell you, there's going to be some noise if you're going to buy next to some of these empty lots that they're building construction or they're going to be building new homes on. So just things to consider. So my perspective as a local, so I lived all over. Leander still checks more boxes than most places. This is a community where you can breathe, build equity, and raise a family with confidence. Yes, I would agree. So family friendly, community fit. It's not for everyone, but it's for the right lifestyle. Investment value. So property values continue to appreciate at a more sustainable pace in the pandemic boom. So I would say that overall, it's a good place if you're looking for long-term growth. Quality of life, the hill country backdrop. So it's definitely, you're right at the hill country. The hill country is a beautiful area. I mean, just beautiful. It's the Balcones fault line runs through there, so it causes these hills, and yeah, people come from all around the world to do bird watching, to go uh, all types of things to do in the hill country. Okay, so ready to decide. I got a guide that you can download, so that's something that you can take a further look at. You can call me, text me. I prefer that. You call me, text me, email me if you like, and we can talk about it. If it's you're looking to rent or you're looking to purchase a home, sell a home, I'm happy to help you with that. And definitely schedule a tour. And I think that's it in a nutshell. So thank you for taking the time to look at my presentation today. And hopefully we'll be in contact shortly. Have a fantastic rest of your day. Thank you very much for tuning in.